This is James Song here. Welcome back to the TOEFL show. This is a brand new, complete and full TOEFL speaking test. In this video, just like the real TOEFL speaking section of the real TOEFL iBT test, you will get 4 questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3, and question 4. As you know, TOEFL speaking section is really quick and dynamic, so please be prepared to concentrate 100%. And you also need some pen and paper to take down notes. So if you're ready to take this TOEFL speaking test, I'm going to start it right now. Let's go, guys!
In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Artists and musicians are important to a society. Use details and examples to explain your answer.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. A student has written a letter to the student newspaper about the campus coffee house. Begin reading now. Now listen to 2 students discussing the letter.
I disagree with his idea.
Why? It doesn't sound like it's doing very much business.
That's probably because he goes during the day, but in the evening...
Oh, people go.
A lot of people. Students are really busy during the day with classes, jobs, and studying. But at night the place is often pretty full. Students get together there all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's not until nighttime that students actually have the time to sit down and relax. You know, enjoy a hot drink and something to eat while hanging out or reading for class.
So you can read in there?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. That used to be a problem, but recently they did some renovations, and now I think the lighting's as good as it is in the library.
Really?
Yeah, and not just at a few tables. Just about every table's got good lighting now.
Sounds like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Definitely not.
The woman disagrees with the student's proposal for the coffee house. Explain the proposal and the reasons she gives for disagreeing with it.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read the passage from a psychology textbook. Begin reading now. Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic.
So how would this work? Well, let's say you need to learn the names of the planets, in order by distance from the sun. So first, think about the landmarks you pass as you walk from, say, your dormitory to the student center. The first one might be the front door of your dormitory, then the big tree in front of the dorm. The next landmark you pass might be the statue in front of the library. Next, the steps to the science building. You get the idea. You memorize the major points along the walk, imagining yourself going from the first landmark to the second, the third, and so on. Now, the next thing you do is assign one planet to each of your landmarks, in sequence. Since Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, you assign it to the first landmark, the front door of your dorm. The next planet, Venus, to the tree in front of the dorm. The third planet, Earth, you assign to the third landmark, the statue in front of the library, and so on and so on. And each time you picture the association in your mind as vividly as possible. Then, later, say you're sitting in the classroom taking a test, and you have to write the order of the planets from the sun. What do? You imagine yourself on that familiar walk to the student center, passing each landmark as usual. When you think about walking out the door of your dorm, you're reminded of Mercury. When you see the beautiful tree in front of the dorm, you think of Venus. At each landmark along the way, you recall the next planet and write it down.
Using the professor's example, explain how the method of loci is used to recall information in sequence.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in a marine biology class.
So we've talked a little about how fish use senses like vision, touch, and so forth. But what I want to talk about now is a special ability some fish have, the ability to produce electricity in their bodies. You're probably familiar with these fish that send out electric currents from their bodies naturally. So what's the purpose of this? Well, as you might expect, it can serve some important roles in helping fish survive. First, fish, like all animals, need food to survive. Well, the ability to produce electricity helps some fish to capture prey. You know, other organisms in the water that they eat. Take the electric eel, for example. The eel produces a strong electric current in its body. When the eel comes into contact with one of the smaller fish it depends on for food, the electric current that it sends out shocks the smaller fish and paralyzes it. It's not able to get away from the eel. The eel captures the fish easily and can eat it at its leisure. So this ability to use electricity to capture prey ensures that the eel gets the food it needs to survive. The ability to produce electricity also helps fish to successfully navigate their environment by detecting nearby objects. Some fish have poorly developed eyes, and the water they live in can be muddy and dark. Now, there's a fish called the knife fish that produces electricity. This creates an electric field around the knife fish's body. When the knife fish swims close to, say, a rock, it senses a disturbance, an interference in its electric field. The fish then realizes that there is a rock nearby and that it has to avoid crashing into it. Once this happens, the knife fish swims away from the rock and thus avoids harming itself.
Using the examples of the electric eel and the knife fish, explain how producing electricity benefits certain fish.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.